So this is an interesting question here. She says, am I the asshole for refusing to meet with my half sister because I don't deserve that honor? She says in quotes. So interesting question here. Let's read through it and see what we think and see what some of the other people think about this. So she throws a lot of details into this. A lot of details. She starts off and she says, so this is rather simple and messy. And she says that she's a 24-year-old female, am an affair baby. My father, who is 75, had me with my mother, who is now 60, while being married to someone else, then divorced his first wife when I was 4 and married my mom 2 years later. Because of the age gap and the general mess of the situation, I never truly had any relationships with my father's side of the family. For them, I was just an unexpected person to exist, which I am totally okay with since I have a great loving family on my mother's side anyway. So since my birth, we have settled this lovely mutual agreement where they pretend I don't exist and I forget that my father is not an orphan. Lovely. The only person who decided to break this mutual indifference pact was my half-sister, who's now 55. I probably also need to mention that my father was somewhat wealthy when he started dating my mother. He had already provided well for his eldest daughter. He paid for her education. He helped her get a decent job at a law firm and bought her a large apartment. So my sister was extremely unhappy with my birth, since for her, it meant that some of my dad's money will now flow the other direction. And she goes on to say, not my petty words, by the way, she said that to my mother. And not only that, according to my mother's words, confirmed by my father and grandparents, she had been harassing my mom throughout her entire complicated pregnancy to the extent that my mother ended up in a hospital. My sister then found a way to call her even there and wished her that she had a miscarriage. That's evil. The last time when she and my mother met, she said I'm worthless and don't deserve the honor of being called her sister, and she would rather give up everything to charity than let me inherit something from her. She was single and childless, and then is still to this day single and childless. And she says, as for my own memories, I have seen her probably only 3 or 4 times as a kid and got a few presents from her as a teenager. Some of her hideous old clothes she didn't want to wear anymore. She decided it would be hilarious to just send them to my mother in a garbage bag, so I donated it to charity upon her forgotten wishes. A lot of bad blood here, isn't there? The funny thing, she says, is that even though my mother was accused of gold digging, my father had an accident and retired soon after their marriage, so she was the one who provided for me and gave me the future. Now I live in another country with my soon-to-be husband, studying and all in all doing okay. I was supposed to visit my family next week when my father unexpectedly called me, and she says he never does that. Upon a very awkward conversation, I received this information. Even though agreeing to cut contacts, my father began talking with his eldest daughter a few years ago. He systematically updated her on my life. Since she learned I'm doing okay and I'm soon to start my own family, she suddenly expressed a desire to meet me. She has no family on her own, and that somehow made her value their sister bond even more. I kindly rejected that offer and said I would rather not. Then followed 20 minutes of a pointless conversation with such arguments as, I'm becoming older and I want my children to reconcile. Her father said she was young and stupid, now she regrets it, etc., etc. When I reminded him that basically she harassed my mother and she wished me dead, he called me out for being vengeful towards my sister and said he taught me better. I then said I don't think I deserve the honor of meeting her and don't seek to earn that honor, and he hung up on me. I know my father is an old man who doesn't want any drama. However, my mother is the sweetest person alive, and a mere thought that someone in a right mind could harass her to the point that she was in the hospital makes me sick. I don't have any interest in this sister bonding BS. And I don't care what she has to say. So am I the asshole for not giving her a chance to speak with me? So what are the people saying before we look at this? Somebody says he should have kept his Johnson in his pants. Having an affair is a legit one-way highway to drama land. It's true, not real helpful. Somebody else says exactly what I was thinking. If he didn't want any drama, he shouldn't have cheated, especially with someone basically the same age as his daughter. It doesn't matter if he's old and infirm. He's the ultimate asshole here. And for him to get all high and mighty now, patronizingly telling the original poster he taught her better, what a pile of BS. So it goes on, folks, and the situation here is other people are saying, not the asshole. It sounds like she wants to reach out. The sister wants to reach out for selfish reasons and wants you just to roll over and pretend she hasn't hated you your entire life. Even though her anger is misdirected, you seem to understand why people might scapegoat you as a living embodiment of the death of their family. But harassing someone into the hospital, then finding a way to continue that in the hospital is a bridge too far. So, I don't know, folks. The thing about this is there's been a lot of time that's passed, a lot of water that's gone under the bridge. And she's in control here. So the sister wants to now come back into her life. Her father has sort of paved the way. Please do this. Please do this. She doesn't have to by any means. She should really do what's good for her. But there could be a value in her just simply saying, I'll listen to her. Okay, I'll listen to what she has to say. And that might open the door for an apology. Totally up to her to do this. But I'm just saying that if she were to able to say, I'm willing to listen to what my sister has to say, she just might be surprised at what she hears. Time has passed, and that time might have healed those wounds, and she might just get an apology that she never expected she would get. And in that first conversation that they have here after all this time has passed, if she doesn't get an apology, well, then she can feel good about closing the door. And she can tell her dad, look, I tried. I talked to her. She said this. Not once did she mention an apology. But I don't know. I hate to throw away people because it looks like she's trying. I think the sister's trying here. So no, you're not the asshole, but I think you're shortchanging yourself if you don't give your sister that chance. And not that it's important, but her sister, keep in mind, she doesn't have family. She doesn't have any kids. Maybe she wants to provide for your family when she's gone. Not that it's important. She might want to do this. Just something to keep in mind. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of writing people off unless you've got a good reason. And the reasons here are old and dated, and you just might be surprised what your half-sister has to say to you.